scenes earlier today. Welcome to Matchday Live, the post-match edition. San Diego coming up short once again, 2-1 the final score on the road at Louisville. Welcome in. We're at Matchday. We're in National City. He is Darren Smith. I'm Jordan Cruth. Again, the final score 2-1. San Diego Loyal now get ready to come back home for the first time. They will come home with 0 points. Plenty to talk about in today's match. We saw red cards. We saw a late goal from Jack Blake. We have updates on our pick to kick, Darren, of course, and then the updated standings. Not great news there, but plenty to discuss in today's loss against Louisville.
Well, the best thing, Jordan, I think that we can say about this start to the 2021 campaign, starting 4 times outside of Torero Stadium, best thing we can say about that stretch of 4 away matches is it's over. Thankfully, SD Loyal returns home next week at Torero Stadium against Las Vegas Lights. All sorts of soul searching, I'm sure, from the time that this team gets on the airplane, heads out of Louisville, and heads back here to San Diego. It was great to see Jack Blake certainly open up his account. It was great to see CJ Fadri. We can get into some of the positives here, but overall now, we talked about it on Matchday Live, the pregame show. We talked about it being a first Saturday, a first against Lou City, first time ever against an Eastern Conference club. But unfortunately, some of the firsts were not the first that we were looking for. Seeing Landon Donovan getting sent into the stands, seeing the first 4-match losing streak in club history. So, you know, those weren't the first that we were looking for, but we were hoping that this would be a much better result. So, hey, best thing we could say, put it in the rearview mirror and see you at Torero Stadium coming up next Saturday night.
Yeah, it's well said. The best thing about the road trip is that it's over. There are some positives if you want to look into them. I thought Ashworth looked pretty good. I thought Trey Muse once again looked good. Man of the match for us, Trey Muse. I don't know if you want Trey Muse to be your man of the match every single game this season. I don't know if that is a good thing, but that's what we've seen so far this year. Again, 2-1 the final score. I think one of the big storylines is Landon Donovan getting a red card here, Darren. Landon Donovan will not be, well, he'll be at Torero Stadium, but he will not be able to be the head coach there. Red card means he is not available for the next match. The next match for SD Loyal happens to be their home opener. So where will Landon Donovan be sitting next week against Las Vegas? Will he be with the locals? Will he be with Chavos? I have no idea where Landon Donovan will be. I know where he won't be. He won't be on the touchline there for SD Loyal as the head coach. So that is something we learned as well. No Landon Donovan next week. We saw a few yellow cards, and SD Loyal coming home with 0 points, looking to get things right.
I'd love to know what Landon Donovan had to say. I am anxious and anticipating what SD Loyal is going to put out on SD social media channels a little bit later, because they always do a great job of getting Landon Donovan's thoughts afterwards. So good, in fact, that we oftentimes play him on the pre-match show here on Matchday Live. But I'm really, really curious to hear what it was that Landon got sent off for. We can imagine. I'm sure it contained a couple of colorful words and some F-bombs and such, and dissatisfaction with the way things had gone. Ultimately, though, Jordan, this is just a really, really frustrating stretch for SD Loyal. That's the understatement of the year. Starting out of the gates with such high expectations and hopes that SD Loyal would find itself in a situation where it would be a legitimate contender all season long. You and I lived through this last year, so did a lot of the supporters on that 3-game losing stretch, that 6-match stretch where they couldn't win and just couldn't score. Really frustrating. And it feels like we've had a little bit of experience with that. I didn't expect it so soon in the season, though. I didn't really expect it to start. So this has just been a terrible start. There's no other way to say it. And much more was expected out of this club in its second season. Hasn't delivered. Best news, like we said, it will be home coming up on Saturday night. And I'm really curious to hear what everybody has to say out there. We are open. We're on YouTube. So if you want to chime in, I'm guessing we're not going to have a bunch of happy supporters out there, but I'm very curious to hear what is being said online.
Yeah, we see a few messages here, Darren, on the comments, John Cross being just one of them. Section 109 for Landon Donovan next week. Section 109, of course, is the section that the locals sit in. That could be the section potentially. I have no idea. Clearly, we don't know where Landon will be next week. But that is something to watch. He will not be there as the head coach, so will he be drinking beers with the locals? I don't know. That would be quite the introduction there.
Can we find room for him on Matchday Live?
I mean,
he's more than welcome to join us. I mean, we go on a half hour before kick, so he can join us at 7 o'clock next week.
Okay, so this is one of the matches that I don't know if Landon will be able to go down this road, but I'm able to go down this road on Matchday Live. I have to constantly remind myself that we are dealing with officials from USL Championship. This is not an excuse. I think both teams have to deal with this, right?
Yep.
Both Louisville had the same officials as SD. But for me, there are moments in this match where I'm writing down in my beautiful little notebook, SD notebook. You can get this at the shop in Mission Valley. I'm writing things down, and I'm just constantly having to write down to remind myself, like, this is USL. Like, you're going to get bad calls. That was not the moment. The only moment that we saw from Landon, I believe it was a straight red. I don't think he got a yellow earlier. That looked like a straight red, which means he must have said a magic word. So he gets sent off. But I remember writing down earlier in the second half that Landon, he was caught on camera saying a word that maybe we're allowed to say here on Matchday Live. But he seemed to be frustrated throughout the match. It wasn't just at the very end when San Diego's down by 2 and they give up another random goal late that seemed to be kind of out of nowhere after getting a penalty that I don't think should have been deserved a penalty. So again, officials are the story. It's not the only story, and it should not be confused as an excuse. Landon Donovan can't go too far down that road. I can go down pretty far that road. I thought they were bad. I didn't think they were very good tonight. I thought the penalty was not deserved, and then you get the random late goal from Louisville. San Diego scored late. Jack Blake seemed to have a lot of emotion in that goal, seemed to have some words for the officials after scoring. He wasn't just worried about celebrating. He definitely wanted to go over to one of the officials as well. I think that's part of the story. I think Landon Donovan part of the story as well with the red card, of course. And San Diego Loyal, one of the big stories now, they have yet to have a lead this entire season. You're 4 matches in, coming back home from a road trip. We have yet to see San Diego playing with a lead. What does that look like? Are they a better team playing with a lead, or is this a team that's just going to struggle when they're playing from behind?
Yeah, we still are on the same statistics that we've been on since the season began. That SD Loyal has never lost a match when leading at halftime, and it's never won a match when it trails at all. Now, that's never going to last forever. There's no way in the history of this club that that's not going to turn itself around. But you wonder, Jordan, you and I keep bringing it up, you wonder if that now becomes something mentally inside with the players themselves, if they realize that sort of stuff. I don't suppose that our statistician, Sean Kelly, sharing that information with SD Loyal, but you just see it week after week, and it starts to feel very much like Groundhog Day, like a bit of a skipping record here, that you find yourself trailing, and then you're wondering how you're going to pull yourself out of it. So, hey, I thought it was great to see Jack Blake score. I thought it was great to see a little bit of life late. I agree with you. I mean, the refereeing is what it is at this level. I mean, I think to invest too much time into that, it's 4 matches in, that's not why SD Loyal finds itself with 0 wins and 0 draws and 0 points up until this point. But I understand that that is adding to the frustration at this level. And imagine being a USL referee and sending Landon Donovan off. I mean, seriously, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, part of me is appalled that a USL referee would do that, and part of me is actually impressed that he had the balls to do it.
I want to know what Landon said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll find out. I'm sure we will find out. But I mean, imagine being a USL referee and sending Landon Donovan off into the stands in this kind of match, man. That's not something I would ever expect to see or predict.
A couple of the comments here on YouTube. Procrastinating Puma says, this game sucked, but it seems for the first time that they've seen, that he has seen, it really isn't Loyal's fault alone. Again, I think probably talking about the officials there. For me, the officials are part of the story. Landon Donovan's red card, part of the story. See a comment on that. Landon hurt his team by getting a very silly red. You have to know what you're able to say and what you can't say as a manager. So just a few of the comments coming in. We watched here with the locals, with Chavos as well. You saw the video to start Matchday Live. It was a great atmosphere. It's rolling over. Padres Mariners on right now here inside the stadium. But this was the scenes a little bit earlier as locals and Chavos came in. The drums were there. It was loud, and they had some to celebrate. It sounded pretty similar to Home and Away. We were in Old Town last week, Darren, at Home and Away. Very loud, even too loud for some neighbors. I don't think we made too much noise today where neighbors will be complaining. But it was fun to be back with the supporters, of course. And here we go, coming back home, looking for our very first points.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that inside of Torero Stadium. I mean, this has been consistent, right? Like, we have a phrase here on the show, win or lose, we're going to drink the brews.
Right.
That's what we're all about. That's our consistency. We only can do so much. We're not out there running around making substitutions, coming up with any sort of tactical plan for the club. That's up to Landon Donovan and Nate Miller, and it's up to the players to execute it, whatever that is. I did feel like there was a shift here in the style of play where Loyal didn't seem as interested in possession, perhaps, as we've seen from the previous 19 matches in the club's history. So there was definitely a little bit of that. But hey, like, the supporters groups are here, were just outstanding. If you've not been And if you've not joined us at one of our viewing parties, please make it a point of doing it, because I will tell you, as frustrating as this is, and the players are frustrated, and the coaching staff is frustrated, the front office, I'm sure, is frustrated, Andrew Vassiliadis, I'm sure, is frustrated if he's watching. Hey, this is a club that's already built a little bit of support here, and it's great at the party. So come join us sometime, and we look forward to seeing that inside of Torero Stadium. Maybe that's what the club needs, is some home support here, having people behind them banging the drums, singing the songs, chanting the chants, and letting the players know, like, you do have fans that are behind you here. So, like, hey, let that motivate you next week.
I think that's part of it. I think another big part of it is San Diego Loyal desperate to be playing with a lead. They need that. They absolutely need it. To have gone through 4 matches without a lead is kind of a big deal. We need to see with this team how they will respond, how they continue to play if they have a lead. We just haven't seen it. Chip Case chimes in, same official for both teams, guys. This team needs to be better. We said it a little bit earlier. Of course, it is not an excuse. It's the same officials for both sides. But clearly, officials were part of the story tonight. If you want to look at the 4-game road trip for San Diego Loyal, I don't know how many people would have gone on and guessed that your 3 goal scorers on that 4-game road trip are going to be Ben Spencer and Jack Metcalf and Jack Blake, the 2 Jacks plus Ben Spencer. Not exactly what San Diego was expecting going into this road trip. Who knows, maybe they come back at home against Las Vegas and we see Corey Herzog put up a brace and we see Guido find the back of the net for the first time. Maybe that's what's in store. We haven't seen it yet, so all we're dealt with right now is kind of just frustration. And that's where we stand. They come back after 4 matches, looking for a lead for the first time, looking for their first points. We do have some good news, though. I saved some good news for the end of the first segment. Darren is on the board, everybody.
Yes.
Our Pick to Kick segment. Finally.
What matters most, yes, the Pick to Kick. Somebody actually backed somebody who scored a goal.
Correct.
For the first time in 2021.
And what a goal it was by Jack Blake. Just it wasn't out of nowhere, but woo, what a rocket that was. 3 points for Darren, your leader on the Pick to Kick. It's a good thing someone from San Diego is on top of some table. Currently, it's not San Diego Loyal, unfortunately. 4 games, 0 points. And that's the other thing, Darren. Now, as fans, what do we do the rest of the night? We have other games to watch. We have Phoenix in action. We have Sacramento in action. We have Orange County in action as well. So, plenty to watch. And the one thing you don't want is to find yourselves, after 10 matches into the season, looking up at the standings and saying, that is a big mountain to climb, and that's kind of the position we're headed towards with SD Loyal. They have time to turn it around, but they don't have a lot of time to turn around if that's what you're trying to avoid, looking up at a mountain that you can't climb.
And then you're going to be spending so much energy, right? So much of your gasoline just trying to figure out a way to get back into this thing. Now, again, I don't want to get too crazy here. It's a 32-match season, and we're 4 matches into it. There's plenty of time. Other teams are going to hit the skids. Loyal's gonna find stride, I'm sure, at some point. But to Jordan's point, LA Galaxy sitting on 8 points. They're playing Oakland Roots tomorrow, which is an expansion club, at least at the USL Championship level. We're talking Phoenix is hosting Las Vegas tonight. That should be 3 points in the bag for Phoenix. Sight unseen, I think you would agree. Sac Republic is going to be at Orange County Soccer Club. So, all of a sudden you're looking up and the clubs that are occupying the top 4 spots are sitting on 9 points, 11 points potentially. You just don't want to be chasing the entire season. At some point, you got to start chipping away at that. Couldn't do it tonight.
Yeah.
Now you got to look forward to doing it next week against Las Vegas. And then remember, it's another quick turnaround and going back out there on the road for a couple of matches. So, this somehow, some way, the coaches, who they're picking for the starting 11, their substitution patterns, or the players themselves need to look in the mirror here, especially the guys that have been brought in here to be difference makers. And they need to say, like, what can we do to stop this? I think it's great that Trey Muse equaled club record with 8 saves. This is now the 2nd time, though, that Trey Muse, is this really the kind of record that you want to keep setting and tying? 2 of the 4 times that you played in net that you have 8 saves, it's becoming way too easy, Jordan, for some of these clubs to get in on goal. Trey Muse can only do so much. He stopped the penalty kick tonight, gave up the rebound. There's nothing he can do on that. The second goal I thought was so fluky. It rolled off the Lou City player's leg. It's one of the flukier goals that you'll see here. But, that's good news, bad news. I'm glad to say that Trey Muse is the man of the match, but I just don't think this is a winning. I don't think that you should expect to win a lot if you're asking them to go out there and make 8-9 saves every match.
Right.
It's not going to work.
I think it would also be a mistake at this point to go into next week saying, Las Vegas, this is a team you should pick up 3 points against, right? That was kind of the conversation we were having against Tacoma, and things did not work out that way. So I'm a little hesitant, Darren, to go into next week. It is the home opener. There's a lot of anticipation. We're finally going to have fans back inside Torero Stadium. Things are looking up for San Diego Loyal in that regard. I don't know if I'm to a point where I'm saying, all right, it's Las Vegas. There's your 3 points. That's where you get it right. I kind of have to wait and see it. Las Vegas is a team that they've never beaten SD Loyal, and I see Statman Sean bringing it up, and it's good stats as well. Lights next, a team that have never beaten Loyal in 3 meetings. Also a team that has not won in 2021. San Diego, they have a few draws against Las Vegas as well. It's not as if San Diego has absolutely dominated that matchup by any stretch. If they can go out and put your first dominant performance against Las Vegas and get your 3 points, then you can start working forward. I'm not to a point where I say, oh, there's lights, that's an easy 3.
I'm with you 1,000%. This is such a great point, because we will look at lights and we will say, because we're loyal backers, well, this should be 3 points, right? What do you think Vegas is saying? What do you think Vegas is going to say when it shows up at Torero Stadium next week with Steve Cherundolo? They're going to be going, this should be 3 points for us. Like, our settings need to be adjusted here just a little bit, because we thought coming out of the gates, flying against Phoenix, flying Tacoma should be easy 3. Like, that's us. I'm not saying that the players had this mindset. I'm not saying that the coaching staff had this mindset. We're not being mouthpieces here for SD Loyal. But you and I certainly, not in a million years, Jordan, would I have expected that this club through its first 4 matches would have 0 points and a -7 goal differential, and be sitting there now going, man, well, Las Vegas feels like a really, really important match next week. Like, you sort of need to bank those 3 points here. And I'm sure Vegas is probably saying the exact same thing, as they're probably going to get their pants pulled down against Phoenix a little later on tonight. But, that now feels a lot different than it did just a couple of weeks back.
Absolutely. Live from Matchday here in National City. It is Matchday Live. Still plenty to get to. We'll continue the conversations on YouTube. Keep those comments coming. We'll respond, Darren and I. Also, we'll get to, well, we said who the man of the match is. It's Trey Muse. Standings to get to. What's on tap by Stone Brewing. That's all coming up next. Plus your comments on YouTube. It's Matchday Live. He's Darren Smith. I'm Jordan Caruth, and we're back after this.
Your summer starts here. With big savings on a new Toyota, you can go out and do all the things that make summer the best time of the year. But don't miss out on all the fun. See your Toyota dealer and catch a great deal today.
Right now, drive home a stylish new Corolla with a low $199 a month lease. Or you can save big with $1,500 factory cash back.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Chosen Foods, we are inspired by the vibrant culinary lifestyle of the Baja Med and, of course, by avocados. From our flagship avocado oil to our family of dressings, mayos, simmer sauces, and guacamoles, the versatility of all Chosen Foods avocado-based products offer you the freedom to be both healthy and creative in the kitchen. Join us in the sun-drenched utopia of Chosen Foods, the avocado. Celebrate it.
During this pandemic, many families are worried about visiting healthcare facilities. I'm Dr. Gail Knight, Rady Children's Senior Vice President and Chief Medical Officer. I'd like to share with you the advice that I give my own family and friends. The best thing that you can do to keep your child healthy is to continue to keep routine appointments like vaccinations and regular checkups. This keeps you, your child, and our community as protected as possible. We are always open, we are here for you, and we are safe.
Welcome back to Matchday in National City. I'm Darren Smith. He's Jordan Carruth. This is Matchday Live on the SD Loyal YouTube channel. SD Loyal set to host their first home match, thankfully, of the 2021 season live from Torero Stadium. It's at USD. One match played there last March 7th of 2020. Pacific Division rival Las Vegas Lights Football Club. They come next Saturday, Jordan, May 29th. 7:30 p.m. You can watch the match live on Fox 5 San Diego and Azteca America in Espanol on Canal 33. Give me a little bit of a break if I didn't get that exactly right, but I'm trying.
It sounded good.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. As long as Antonio gives me the thumbs up, then I will feel much better about that. He said yes.
I was hesitant.
And thank you very much to Matchday for being such gracious hosts. We met the owner here earlier on the Matchday Live pregame show. What a spot this was. What a fun place. Sun's still going down, so still light out. Plenty of people enjoying some quality beers, and certainly we were amongst that as well, like we say all the time. Win or lose?
We drink the brews. That's kind of what we do here. I was actually planning it. I think it should be noted that this is a 21 and up establishment. 21 and over only. I do want to give a happy birthday to my 1-year-old son, Luca, who turned 1 yesterday. We were thinking about having his birthday party here at Matchday, but 21 and up, it kind of changed the rules, so I had to wait around. Instead, Darren, we did the Winnie the Pooh birthday a little bit earlier today, and then we came down and had a few beers, so that's that.
You know what else, Jordan? Speaking of, happy birthday to Luca. I know Luca is watching. Love that kid. You know who else would not be able to get into Matchday? CJ Fodry, who debuted for SD Loyal. He's a high school kid out of Coronado who's one of 4 teenagers signed to the SD Loyal Academy program, which you can see we've had shirts here on our set all night long, pre-match and post-match. But what a moment for him, for a local kid out of Coronado who's in high school to debut for SD Loyal. He's never gonna forget that. This might be a forgettable performance for a lot of SD Loyal supporters. Hopefully it becomes a footnote in a really, really long season here in 2021. But imagine that moment where you make your debut for a hometown club as a teenager, as a 17-year-old signed out of Coronado for CJ Fodry tonight. That is not searching for silver linings. That is absolutely history, what we watched from Lou City earlier tonight.
Yeah, you can go to San Diego Loyal's website. You can find a very good piece from our good friend Nate Abarea, who actually chatted with CJ about this very subject, you know? Growing up in Coronado, jumping fences to continue to play soccer, doing all that fun stuff. Go to the website, check it out, a really, really good piece. Darren, I got my first glimpse of CJ during a practice in the preseason. He may have argued a call that he wasn't supposed to be arguing during a practice, may have heard about it from the coaching staff a little bit. That was the week that San Diego Loyal were getting ready to play Galaxy during the preseason. He scored that week against Galaxy. Why is that a big deal? He used to play in Galaxy's system. Now he's with San Diego Loyal, scored that week in the preseason. But now we're seeing minutes here in the regular season for his hometown team in San Diego Loyal. So very good stuff.
This is Loyal Select. For anybody, to Jordan's point here, our mate Nate Abare wrote about this. You can go to the Loyal website. But learn a little bit about Loyal Select. He's the first of what I'm guessing, Jordan, will be many, many local homegrown players who will play for SD Loyal. Maybe this season, maybe in seasons to come, maybe for decades to come. So really a very, very special night for his family. I don't know that they did or didn't travel. He's been part of the roster for all 4 matches here. He's been available to play, but this is the first time that we actually saw him in a regular season match. So kudos to Loyal Select, kudos to this entire concept, and kudos to CJ for getting in there tonight.
What did you think of the new stadium? I think that was one of the big storylines tonight. Lou City, not just a very good team, but they're a team that's known in USL Championship because of this brand new shiny stadium that they are playing in. It looked great on television. It looked like we had a couple Loyal supporters in the house. Some former head coaches with Lou City supporting San Diego Loyal tonight as well. But outside of John Hackworth, it looked like there were fans that made the trip. The stadium itself, to me, looked great on television. I thought it looked good. Obviously, you want the performance on the field to be a little bit better from San Diego Loyal. But the setup itself, obviously stadium always going to be a conversation here in San Diego. To me, it looked great on TV. And that's a team that lives up to that stadium. That's a team that's very good, and that's a team that should compete in the East.
Yeah, I mean, and this says a lot about Lou City, right? It's called Lynn Family Stadium. You know who it's named after?
Lynn family.
The Lynn family. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Good job out of you. Jordan did his homework on this. And it holds somewhere in the neighborhood of 11, 12,000. And it is considered really one of the crown jewel grounds in USL Championship, and this now being the second season. Couldn't open it up with fans, obviously last year was just the pandemic season impacted across the country, across the world. But yeah, I'm with you 1,000%. It makes me say, how do we get one of those? I wouldn't mind one of those. How do we get one of those here in San Diego? Because that looks kind of nice, and I bet you players want to go and play there because they see that kind of facility that you don't really see in other places. I think this is also something that we could talk about with USL. Colorado Springs, Louisville, like you are starting to see some soccer-specific stadiums popping up here on this scale, on this size, and like it's really, really good for the league. Like the league is still growing. The league still, unfortunately, lost a couple of clubs, Reno 1868 from last year. But to see, like, these are signs of growth, so I'm all about that. Like, I really wanted to go to this match. Couldn't make it happen, but somewhere down the road, man, I would love to see something like that here in San Diego, wouldn't you?
No question about it.
Right here in National City.
It will sound like we're taking a dig at Phoenix, or maybe it sounds like I am. That stadium looked way better than what we saw in Chandler a little bit earlier this year. Different capacity, different setup, of course, but that looked better. The one in Chandler is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of a desert. It's really, really hot. It's windy. There's sand just banging across the stadium. I don't know how long that one's going to last. The one in Lou City, though, Darren, that looks like it's going to last a little bit. And it looks like it is something that the league should be very proud of.
Yeah, and I think also good for Louisville because it really did seem like now 3 matches into its 2021 season, and Louisville's given them good reason to support. They've won a couple of USL titles, USL Cups, so they've given them reason to support, and it looked like they got great support in Louisville, which is a fantastic city, a fun place. Most people would just think of it with regards to Louisville basketball and the Kentucky Derby, but now Lou City is part of the fabric of that city, and it's great to see. It's just a great thing to see for this league for USL Championship. So like I said, I don't know where we're going to build it around here, but let me know. I'm looking forward to that.
I thought it was really funny. John Hackworth there, you saw him, the former head coach for Lou City, wearing the SD Loyal hat. He had the Leal shirt. Clearly was rooting for San Diego, his son playing for San Diego, and his son Morgan Hackworth, the very first player that we saw come off the bench for San Diego.
I was not expecting that, huh? I mean, when we talked at halftime on our Instagram page about what substitutions we thought Loyal was going to make, I don't know that either one of us thought that Morgan Hackworth was going to be the first sub in off the bench. You and I probably both agreed it was going to be Corey Herzog. And it was Morgan Hackworth. And I don't know if there's some psychology there. I'm interested in asking around about that. I thought we would see Morgan Hackworth. I thought we might see him late, especially if Loyal found itself somehow ahead in the match. I thought it would be great to have Morgan Hackworth go out there, run around a little bit. Everybody in the stadium, it's a smart stadium. They're really, really smart soccer fans there. They would know that this is John Hackworth's dad, the former manager for Lou City. So just to plant some seeds there, get the opposing coaching staff, players thinking, I wonder why they're putting Morgan on. Interesting substitutions, Jordan, again. And it didn't result in all that much, but for him to go out there, run around on the field where his dad has been so instrumental in that club's history and success, I'm sure it was something else that he was probably told ahead of time. I'm guessing he was not surprised by that decision from the coaches.
Yes, it's a coaching staff that is good with communication. I'm sure he was aware of that. When we come back, we're going to get to the What's on Tap segment, let you know what's going on tonight. There are some impactful matches in our division. Also what you need to know going forward for San Diego Loyal. Plenty to get to. One more segment to go. We're back after this.
It starts off with a little seed. And with a little love from nature, it sprouts to life. And when delicious fresh fruits and veggies are perfect, they are rushed to the home of fresh. Sprouts, where goodness grows.
live
Want a
on the
perfect
train.
pair of sunglasses for your every occasion? Hit up the Knockaround
drops
Custom
you off
Shop
in the
with over
parking
a million possible combinations. Why not get a pair
their
for
sports
every
bar.
you? 8 a.m. I need a coffee you. Clocking a few miles you. Game day you. Happy camper you. Fun in the sun you.
So we
On
are
the slopes you.
0-0-4
Dog days you.
and -7 goal differential.
Happy hour you. Si se puede you. The Knockaround Custom Shop. You design them, we build them.
I'm not even sure what's happening here, and I know it's fast, but I'm in love with you. We're gonna be together forevs, and I'm gonna keep you looking good, boo. That's why I got you unlimited washes. That's right, we're gonna binge wash, babe. Commit to your car.
Your summer starts here. With big savings on a new Toyota, you can go out and do all the things that make summer the best time of the year. But don't miss out on all the fun. See your Toyota dealer and catch a great deal today.
Right now, drive home a stylish new Corolla with a low $199 a month lease. Or you can save big with $1,500 factory cash back.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Chosen Foods, we are inspired by the vibrant culinary lifestyle of the Baja Med and, of course, by avocados. From our flagship avocado oil to our family of dressings, mayos, simmer sauces, and guacamoles, the versatility of all Chosen Foods avocado-based products offer you the freedom to be both healthy and creative in the kitchen. Join us in the sun-drenched utopia of Chosen Foods, the avocado.
All right. Sit and Go game tickets. They're on sale now. Tickets start at $25 for all matches, beginning with 619 Day, June 19th. We're expecting a capacity crowd against Phoenix Rising Football Club. You can visit sdloyal.com/tickets for more info on Darren Smith. He's Jordan Carruth. This is Matchday Live on the SD Loyal YouTube channel. SD Loyal lose a tough one at Lou City, 2-1 the final score. They will return home for their first home match of the 2021 season. 0 wins, 0 draws, 4 losses, 0 points. Jordan?
Yes?
We wanted to go out and find somebody who's been here hooting, hollering, making a ton of noise to say, what was it like out there? What are the supporters of this club talking about? Who's this guy?
Who is this guy? This is our mate, Nick. Hi,
G'day.
Nick.
How's
Tell
it going?
Introduce yourself to everybody.
G'day, I'm Nick Duffy, and I'm the resident Kiwi here.
You're the resident Kiwi.
We love it. Who's your favorite Loyal player?
Oh, it's got to be Ashworth. It's got to be. It can't not be the Kiwi, you know?
The only Kiwi on the club.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kiwis support Kiwis, man. I've always heard that.
It's true.
Thoughts of the viewing party today?
Good energy brought by everybody, to be honest. It was great. I'm losing my voice a little bit from the cheering. It was loud. It was loud. It was a notch up from last week, and that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So do you have any insight? This is really the reason we're bringing you on. Will Landon Donovan be sitting with you guys next week?
That's the silent hope. We'll have to put it to him. The pressure's on there, Landon. Come join us. We'll show you a good time.
Can you make the formal invite right now?
Yeah,
Because Landon will watch this.
Landon Donovan, on behalf of the locals and Chavos, we would love for you to join us in Section 109 next week.
Perfect. Drink some beers.
Sure, I'll buy you a drink, Landon. How's that?
How about that? He's buying
buy you a
beers for
drink.
you, Landon.
Very
Down.
generous.
Whatever
Very
you
generous.
want.
We'll take it. Beers, we'll take points at this point, won't we? We will
Yes,
take points.
definitely.
What did you think of the match?
Ooh, a bit of a robbery, to be honest. I thought it was a bit of a rough officiated match, but that might just be my bias talking, but looked like there was a strong wind in the ground, let's put it that way.
Yeah, to me, I'm constantly having to remind myself, it's USL Championship, the officials are a little bit different, it's a different level. Do you find yourself having to remind yourself of that?
Yes, I do. Coming from New Zealand, it's my first kind of taste of US soccer, so I'm used to A-League stuff and watching European football, so it's a new, fresh taste for me. I watched last season, but this is my second season, so still learning.
Nice.
Aren't we all?
How'd you get turned on to this?
I can't actually remember the first time I saw Loyal online, but I knew I was moving to San Diego, so I was looking for soccer, and then I saw something to do with Loyal, so I was like, that's me, 100% when I finally get here, that's me. And so I watched all the games in New Zealand last year, and now I'm here, now I'm a season ticket holder, now I'm part of the locals. I'm 100% all in and ready to get wild.
You have a global game, I love that.
You have a European team?
I'm a Bayern Munich guy.
Well, that's Nick Duffy, everybody. We'll see you next.
Just give us the mic. No.
Yeah, I'm a Bayern guy. I don't really have an EPL team, but if I had to pick, it would be West Ham because that's where my family's from. So.
Oh, okay. From
Good
London.
day for you.
Yeah.
Robert Lewandowski set the
Very exciting.
Bundesliga record.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, so next week we're going to see you, Nick. We're going to see you with Landon Donovan chugging beers in 109.
100%. And if we win, the shirt's coming off.
Really?
Yeah.
Yours or Landon's?
Well, that's up to Landon, but mine's definitely coming off.
Okay. All right, I like it. I mean, we might get our first win. We'll get our first glimpse of Landon ripping his shirt off. And then we'll get Nick ripping his shirt off, which he did a couple minutes ago. It's really not that big of a deal
special,
anymore.
honestly. We've all seen it.
Come to the watch meets and then you might see it.
So can you give us one little, before we let you go, so we're showing video of what it looked like here with the supporters. Can you give us like one quick bar, one song, one lyric, something like just what it's like out there?
Sing to us.
Sing to us. Do you
You're
need,
putting me on the spot.
Serenade us.
Okay. You put me
No!
on the spot.
you
We
wanna do
love
one-
ya,
sing
we
us
love
with
ya, we love ya, and where you go, we'll follow, we'll follow, we'll follow, because we support the loyal, the loyal, the loyal, and that's the way we like it, we like it, we like it. Oh, 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 oh.
Good stuff. Thank you so much. Thank
No
you for
problem.
being a trooper.
Thank you. Drinks are on us next week.
I'll
For
hold you.
and
I'll
Landon.
hold you to that.
Yeah, at the stadium. I tried to buy him a beer earlier. He turned me down. It was very
I'm driving,
difficult.
so
Yeah,
you
he
gotta be
made the right
responsible.
decision.
Don't drink and drive, kids.
Do not do it.
Yes.
Next week, drink with Landon Donovan in section 109, maybe.
And Uber home.
And Uber home after that. That's what we'll do. Nick, a
Thank
pleasure.
you very much for having me.
Thank you, mate.
Thank
You're
you.
the best.
We do appreciate you. You can just leave the mic on. There we go. We're going to
you.
wrap it up after that. This is what happens when you have no points after 4 matches.
See, this is why you got to go to the home opener, because it's coming up on Saturday night, next Saturday, 1 week from tonight, the 29th against Las Vegas Lights. Be one of the first to witness live soccer. You can hang out with Nick and Landon, everybody else. It's coming back to San Diego. Kickoff is 7:30, May 29th at Torero Stadium at USD. Priority access to guys like Nick. You know how they get it? They go and become season ticket holders. SD Loyal ticket members. That's what you are all about. Go to sdloyal.com/membership. You email tickets@sdloyal.com.
This is what kind of you expect. We're not trying to like build excuses or distract from the fact that SD Loyal lost. This is kind of just what happens after we go to soccer matches, you know? Or when they're on the road and you go to a viewing party. We're kind of just hanging out with the supporters, drinking, having a good time. That's what the supporters did for the whole 90 minutes. Results have been a little bit different to start, but I will say I think the biggest stories the last couple weeks from home and away, and now today in National City, how loud the supporters groups get, even though they're away from San Diego. Excited to hear what they'll sound like when the team is back in San Diego next week.
Jordan, we got a club.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we can say is we've really got a club. We've got supporters coming out of a pandemic, thinking about this rotten hand that SD Loyal was dealt. That we have 100 people show up last week, pretty much close to that this week in National City. We've been in Old Town, we've been in National City. Next week we get to be inside of Torero Stadium. Can't say enough about how bright I think the future is for this. Now we just need the club out there on the field to feel that support and turn it into goals and points and get off the schneid here for the first time in 2021.
Darren, let's say goodbye to the road trip. The road trip is done. We don't want to talk about it ever again. It feels like August from 2020, that road trip. We'll move forward. We'll look to the home opener. We'll cheers to having fans back inside Torero Stadium. And next week on Matchday Live, we're going to be at Torero Stadium on the field, pre-match and post-match coverage, and hopefully talking about 3 points following the match. What happens when we're at home, Darren? Score goals, win beers.
Yes.
We'll have a player on the set. We'll give them a beer after they score the game-winning goal. That's what's going to happen next
That's
week
the
against
other
Las
thing.
Vegas.
We haven't had a post-match guest all season long. This is tough. This is unprecedented. This has never happened this way. So yeah, we look forward to I don't know who it'll be next week, but I'm sure it'll be somebody hanging out with us and walking away with one of those Stone Brewing bombers.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing Landon Donovan in Section 109 next week with the locals and Chavos. Anything else you need to get to before we say goodbye and then say hello again from Torero Stadium?
Well, we said happy birthday to Luca.
We did.
Want to make sure that Luca is hearing us loud and clear. And
happy birthday, Luca.
And good luck to everybody tomorrow who's going to wake up early and watch the Premier League, whatever clubs people support. It's the final day for European soccer.
Yes.
So good luck in case you have a rooting interest.
Right.
I don't know if you do or don't.
I do.
But after that, it's, hey, home opener, baby, next Saturday night. I cannot say this enough. I cannot wait to be back in Torero Stadium with fans in the stands.
I second that. We will chat with you next from Torero Stadium. Stay tuned this week. We will drop the latest edition of the Unnamed Soccer Podcast, but until then, we'll see you at Torero. He's Darren Smith. I'm Jordan Caruth, and this is Matchday Live.
It's time to get moving with the financial partner that's here for your journey. From small steps to big milestones, USE Credit Union is here for you. With tools to help you bank fast, solutions to help you go far, and a team of dream makers that's ready to help you step forward with confidence. USE Credit Union.